Welcome to Happily Ever Afters, where love doesn't stop at romance. Join us as we share the tales of everyday magic and celebrate life's sweetest moments. Hear inspiring accounts of love, intimacy, and pure joy as we uncover the secrets behind true devotion and partnerships that really work. Brace yourself for a full-on heart-melting. Here's your host, Carlos Clemente.
Hey, here we go again. More Happily Ever Afters. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we have the wonderful, the fantastic. You know, I always try to use different adjectives to describe this woman. And the reason I do that is because I truly enjoy working with her.
Oh, well, then you can keep the adjectives coming.
Don't
worry about our guests. They'll wait.
All right, but I just want people to know that. I was doing the show by myself originally, and it was fun. But when Dorothy decided to come on board, it just added a whole new element for me.
Oh,
and
thank
so
you.
I just look forward to that, and I just want everybody to know that. Music-wise, I love music. I picked this particular song because it used to be my driving song. It was just nice and smooth, and it just flowed through your body, and that's why I use Earl Klug's Heartstrings.
Okay,
So,
did not know that.
Just little few people that know that. You want to introduce our guest today?
Susan and Adam Gold. Okay, you guys, where to begin? She's an author, a coach, the most amazing manifester I could imagine. You manifested Barbara Walters. We will discuss that. And Adam played in every club in LA in your band. The two of you, so intuitive. I don't know if you use the word psychic, but so intuitive. And you met at an angels class, which that you have to explain to me. I know neither one of you were looking for love. And then what is an angels class?
So we had a mutual friend, I think it was in COVID time, and we took her angel class online. It was not something that I would normally do, but I was really looking to connect and, community. And I was done with the guy thing. That was over. One date in 7 years after divorcing an alleged narcissist. And Adam was in this class, and I thought, why is this guy in here? Sorry.
Come on, Adam.
And wait, it was online, so you weren't even.
There were people from all over the globe.
Okay.
I made little 10-minute Zoom connects because I wanted to know these people. They were really interesting people. And then Adam and another gentleman lived in LA. So I asked both of them to coffee. They couldn't make it at the same time. And so I got ready for us to have coffee. And I was a single mom. Like, the phone was set for 50 minutes and the alarm was going to go off. And I was out of there. The alarm didn't go off. We were there. It was an hour and a half into it. And I was still sitting, engaged. And then I looked at my clock and I was like, I got to get out of here. I jumped up. It's like, this is not allowed. No.
Yeah, needless to say, I was shocked. I'm like, she just got up and ran away. And I didn't know what I said. I mean, it wasn't a date, but I was just hoping I didn't insult her. I believe I sent you a message. I mean, are you okay?
Texted me 2 days later. And I said, oh, come on over. Friday, at 4. And I was like, what did I just do? I didn't invite I didn't invite friends over to my house at that point. I was so isolated. And over he came.
Yes.
And
Were
it was
you nervous,
6 months
Adam?
of
Were you
fighting.
nervous?
Fighting it.
No, we weren't nervous. I mean, we were really friends and we had this common interest. I started this angel class with this lady who channels the 12 archangels. I was interested in everything and anything to do with the afterlife. No matter how bizarre or far-fetched or how true and how validating it could be, I was just putting the pieces together to understand where my wife that I've lost years prior went, who passed away from cancer. And that started this search for me to understand what is the other side, what is death, what is life, is this an illusion? So anything and everything that caught my attention and I had time for and money for, I engaged with. Some of it great, some of it not so great, some of it amazing. And so Susan and I met and we hit it off and we became very good friends. So I remember we used to do this thing where I'd pick her up at 5:30 in the morning at her house in Burbank on a Sunday, and we drive out to Malibu and walk by the beach before anybody else got there. And just walk by the beach with her really amazing dog, Ada, who I'm also in love with at this point. And Ada is part of our lives. And we did this over and over again, and we had great conversation and great connection. And at some point, we got back to the car months and months into this. And I look at her and I remember saying, hey, we really like each other, don't we? And she said something like, well, I like a lot of people.
You were trying
and
to
I'm like, cool. Yeah, I'm just saying, we do really like each other. This is kind of weird, isn't it? So, and I don't even know how it became a thing. It's just, I think the heart connection the heart is so much wiser than the brain. What your image of yourself is, your self-image, your ego, what you ought to or supposed to be, or who you're supposed to be with, what walks of life, or it's the heart isn't limiting. It can open doors you never thought you could walk through. And so that's how we became, partners and lovers and friends. But it started, and what's amazing about it, and I really appreciate it, it really started with a true and pure friendship. And after a while, as a man, I look at her and I'm like, she's really beautiful. She's really hot. I remember thinking that. But you dismissed it. Well, we're just friends, right? Well, that's not how it works.
And Susan, were you thinking the same thing?
Oh my God. I wouldn't even allow myself to go there, Dorothy. No way. I was so wrapped up and done. And plus, I could be Adam's aunt, I felt a little cougarish even, going on beach walks together. But once I got over that and really went into my own being, because I didn't allow that very much. I came from a chaotic household. I broke up the fights. That was my job. At 17, I wanted to, go. I did. The day after high school graduation, I was out. I rarely went back. My dream was to go to New York City, which I fulfilled, and then on to LA. And
wait, you got to tell the Barbara Walters story. I feel like you just manifested her into your life.
Oh my gosh, I used to watch her, Dorothy, on my beanbag, on my belly, in the basement, and I want to go to New York City and I want to be like Barbara Walters. Did you do that too? I mean, it was kind of the time for
that. I think I kind of related to your story.
Yeah. So I got to New York, right? And eventually got work with ICM, which is a large global talent agency, but I wasn't making enough loot. So I had to take up a side hustle to make it happen. And so I was training people, personally training them on the side. And I got this call. Hey, Susan, can you show up at Barbara Walters tomorrow morning? No one else will take it. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah. She really, really was a girl's girl. And she obviously had been abused in the workplace, because one day I showed up, knocked on her door, and she opened the door. She took one look at me and she's like, Susan, what happened? And I went in and tried to do deflect, but she got it out of me within minutes that
she's Barbara Walters.
Yeah, she's Barbara Walters. Yeah, for a reason. She was highly intuitive, just like you. She could talk to anybody. And she got it out of me that I'd been sexually harassed in the workplace. And she said, well, I'm coming to work with you today, and we're going to confront this man together.
She was going to come to work with you.
That's okay, Barbara. I got it. I got it. I did confront him that day, and I was promptly fired.
Did you tell him I know Barbara Walters, for God's sakes?
But she did want me to work for Merv Adelson, which he was her then fiance running a huge film distribution company. And I'm like, Barbara, I cannot be an admin anymore. I just can't. Love you, but I just can't do it.
And that was a whole other life for you. You were putting celebrities with brands and
yeah. I started doing celebrities with brands on my own. My first deal was to knock on the door of the factory and get Andy Warhol to agree to a Pontiac commercial that he didn't want to do. But his pugs were running around his studio, and I knew he loved those pugs. And finally, when he did give me eye contact, it felt like it was 15 minutes, but it was only 5. And he looked at me and said, now, really, why should I do this? And that hair was like flying all over the place. And I didn't know, but that intuitive thing came over my shoulder. And I said, because you can have the dogs in the shot with you. And I didn't even know if that was true. But he looked at me, he looked at the dogs, and he said, okay, we'll do it. And that sort of launched my career into matching celebrities to brands and then on into producing.
You're
TV.
both so intuitive. Are you, do you read each other, or like you were friends for a long time before you started to, realize there was something else there?
Being such intuitives as we are, it saves a lot of time. We don't talk. No. I mean, we are very intuitive, and Susan's highly psychic, like full blown.
Okay, but this one is crazy intuitive and can read cards like nobody's business and don't even get around him with the pendulum. It's like full sentences coming out. It's amazing to do sessions, but he, I can't get away with anything. Carlos, I used to be able to, tuck it back in and, pretend and put that smile on that would always cause an explosion 15 years down the road, but he goes right into it. I can't hide, Dorothy. Like, he knows. Like, what's up?
But, okay, being so intuitive, both of you, all right, I'm going to ask you this, and you give me your answer to it, all right? This show is Happily Ever Afters. How did you know that you had hit your Happily Ever Afters moment?
I'm going to let you go first on that one because I need stall time.
How did we know that? I knew that because I was able to trust her with everything that went through me. What I felt, my ideas, and combined with who Susan is and her beauty and her compassion and her passion. I just felt that there was this one particular incident where I was over at her place as a friend, and we had dinner, and her son was there, went to his room, and we were just hanging out in the kitchen, and I felt compelled to grab her hand and hold it. And it was like such a big deal. It's like when you're like 6 years old and you grab the girl's hand. That's what it felt like. I mean, I left my body. It was really, really beautiful and incredible. And that's when I knew. And it took a lot of doing to just hold her hand. It was a big deal for both of us.
So when you
I felt it was such a big deal to her as well.
So when you held her hand, that gave you the inspiration. That was the energy that drew that moment out for you. Just that simple
absolutely.
Grabbing and holding her hand like that.
And the energy, but before it was symbolic to what we already felt. It was electromagnetic between us by that point. It was so palpable. So it would have been silly not to. You just know.
How about you, Susan?
Yeah, well, I got a little trust issue in me. And I was a single mom. My son, I was like, let him go to college. Like, he was just like 3 months away from like the college exit. And I'm like, can we not stall this a little bit? And isn't this a little uncomfortable for you? Like, I really had a thing about like when he calls me beautiful, and it almost makes me tear up because I was definitely one of those people hauling my A through life and knowing that I had a cart not only my own being, but whoever was attracted to me, I was going to carry them too, because that was what was set up in my family. That's what I did for my father. And that's what I did for my partners. And it took a long time to really realize that. And Adam's love really broke through that saran wrap. I would say it was barbed wire rolled inward. And finally, I have to keep surrendering, even though we've been together for years. I keep surrendering to that. And he allows me to believe, and he hasn't faulted. And he hasn't dropped the ball once.
You guys both had a lot of grief and a lot of trauma, but when he held your hand, did you feel that too, or you were just like unsure?
Okay, so if remember in those cartoons when Woody Woodpecker would slam on the brakes and
Okay.
the smoke that's how I was. Like my heels were in the ground, I was smoking out the back. I was like,
No!
please, no, let's not go this way.
You were going to give him the friend card, and he was not going to accept it.
No, and it wasn't what it was. I mean, I really had to wake up. That wasn't what it was at all. And I've been continually waking up out of this horrific wounding that a lot of us females who grew up in the time where our roles changed. We weren't stay-at-home moms anymore, taking care of the children. For the most part, we were out there batting it with the men, especially in the entertainment industry. It's nasty, you know? And so I was so used to running on that hamster wheel. It took a while for me to even see that I was running on that. I mean, one of our first, he went out and got the dinner and brought it back. I was like, oh, like that didn't happen before. He would go out and buy groceries and come back. I was like, you know, my partners would be behind me, like hanging on my apron strings, waiting for me to get the card out. Like the garbage would be out. I didn't even ask. It would just be out. This is living on Mars for me. This is like a whole new platform. And I am so happily ever afters blessed.
I have a quote for you. All right? I always try to find a quote. You are the wish my heart made before I knew how to wish. That's you guys. You know, I've gotten pretty good at matching up people with these quotes. This one is yours. I'll read it one more time for you.
That is beautiful, Carlos. You are the intuitive in this bunch.
I'll read it to you one more time. You know, you are the wish my heart made before I knew how to wish.
Yes.
You know, because Susan, I read something that you said once. It was almost that. You said you were thankful for the walk you'd had through life. Even though it was painful, you appreciated it and were thankful for it.
Absolutely, because that made me the individual that I am. And through that trauma that I experienced, I could go deep into it and heal it. And for the first time in my life, come from the inside. I mean, my happily ever afters is the fact that I can live from my inside. I respect her now, and I live from my heart, and I don't have to sell myself from the outside in. I'm living from the inside out, and I wouldn't have had that opportunity. I wouldn't have seen it if I didn't experience the challenges.
And you wrote a book called Toxic Family that will help other people understand that.
Yes. Sometimes it's a hard read. My sister said as soon as you get through the childhood, the rest of it is riveting. But I do have that, and I do have a whole platform that I built around it to really help people find their true inner power and then live from that inner power rather than the exterior. And it's a whole new place of sovereignty and freedom. It's a new zip code. I didn't know it with Adam, and now I do. It's a completely different place.
You two should have been teaching that angels class.
Maybe.
All right. With what you just said, how do you work as a team to make others use that intuition for others to help them get past things like what you've had to go through?
Well, we're natural magnets. People they'll sense it with us when they see us.
Yeah.
And Adam has been really good at opening people's hearts and having them see a different light. And then we also incorporate Adam's great ability with the pendulum, which is phenomenal, and the tarot, and his natural intuition and his ability to connect. And then my gift is really making people feel good. They don't know why, but it's my energy. I'm like, my light brings them to me, and I can sense their pain and I can soothe it. So I think, along with my ability, I mean, I'm a super empath. I can sense the tenor and tone and, emotion in the room immediately, and I'm telepathic. So I think I would say that's how it's best that we work together as a team. But Adam may have something else to say.
No, that's absolutely right. And it comes very naturally, actually. We could go into a restaurant and sit at the bar, and the bartender will, instead of us sharing our life story with the bartender will share their life story with us. And it happens pretty much all the time.
Can you shut it off? I know, people who are intuitive, or if you want to use the word psychic, they have to be able to shut it off.
Yes. I mean, of course, you have to protect yourself. You can't take everything in. And being empathic, it just means that you understand, but you don't have to live through it completely and fully and wholly. And I think that's the past hardships and the experiences and grief you went through got you to that point, so you can understand. You can relate without having to live through exactly what the other person experienced. You can relate automatically, you don't have to wound yourself over and over again to understand, because you got to that point and you've already been wounded and you recovered. That's the way I like to see it,
The energy, I'm going to be, when I first saw you two, I knew she was this bright, dynamic, outgoing person. But Adam, you were sitting back there just kind of cool hand Luke, And when you started talking, I saw this energy come out of you. And then as you're both talking together, it's merged together. And it's a dynamic force together. And that's what I see with both of you together as a team.
I would have to second that, because, I feel it. We feel it, and you're very right. And even if it's just us being here and cooking dinner and just hanging out in the evening, or gardening, or just being outdoors, or just doing normal things, that connection is there. Yeah.
We're running out of time, but I do want you to once again give advice for happily ever afters. How people can take what they learn from you, what you convey to people, to help them have their happily ever afters moments. It's not just one moment. You can have many happily ever after moments.
Hopefully forever.
And so that's what builds your life, is having those moments over and over and over again. And with what you two have been through, that's exactly what you're doing. You keep building them over and over again. So how do you continue to convey that?
I have tremendous respect for Adam and the power of his love. I've never met a person with a heart that is so strong and so sound and so open. So that's truly a gift, and I believe that it was my destiny on this planet to experience this before I left, because I hadn't up to this point. So that's my happily ever afters, and I think that your audience members can find that as well, especially with these conversations you guys are bringing forward, which are just beautiful. Monique and Sydney blew me away.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Adam?
I think the answer is already in the question you pose. It's your happily ever after moment. It's the moment. It's the now. It's a don't gloss over it. Trust your intuition. Trust your heart. Trust that feeling. Don't talk yourself out of it because it's very easy to do. We had plenty of opportunity, Susan and I, to talk our way out of this relationship. Plenty. Rationally, our brains wouldn't wrap around this at all. On paper, no way. But here, and when you live from the heart or when you listen to the heart, there is only the moment. There is nothing else. There's only the now. There's only the moment. And then is the next now and then the next now, which we perceive as the future. But honor the moment. Honor the feeling you get from it. And trust it. Trust yourself. How can you trust your partner if you can't even trust yourself within that moment that's so strong, electromagnetic, and basically screams at every fiber of your body of just hold her hand.
I love that you healed each other and now you're helping heal other people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
This was inspiring to listen to you guys.
Well, and it's inspiring to what you two are bringing to the table. I mean, it's profound, and I hope you keep going and going and going and going because your message is really important, especially now. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That concludes another edition of Happily Ever Afters. You can join us on many networks now. UBNGO, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, anywhere you get
Spotify,
podcasts.
YouTube. Join us, subscribe, help us grow, help us have more great guests like we've been having. Once again, thank you. Happily Ever Afters, where love is not the only thing, it's everything. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hold on. Hey.